Welcome back. We are on our case studies now, and naturally, this is track A. You've chosen this one to go for. And as you know, this is all about jumping into the world of young specialists, how to really prepare the youth for the future of organization. So looking at young talent and how to really take that forward and really seeing them as maybe really giving them the spotlight perhaps they truly deserve. We'll find out a little bit more right now from HR Manager of Research and Production Block at Nice, Tijana Karanović. Tijana, hello.
Hello, Peter.
Hello, how are you?
Great. Excitement is rising, I must admit.
And every time Nice comes on through the screen, the studio looks great. You're looking great. Sounding great, and we're all intrigued to hear what you have to share. And remember, what I'll do towards the end, I'll come back on, and if we have any questions from our audience members, our viewers, I'll come back in to ask you those questions. But in the meantime, Tijana, over to you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you all for your participation and interest in this topic. Like Peter already mentioned, I'm Tijana Karanović. I'm part of NIS for more than 8 years. And at the very beginning of our story, I would like to go back to our past, or how I like to call it, walking down the memory lane. Do you remember how your company looked in 2013? Do you remember how we lived 8 years ago? Now, when I'm talking, it sounds like an ancient history. But for about 120 students, July 1st of 2013 was one of the most important dates in their career. That was the date when they got an opportunity to be part of NIS, traditional oil and gas company. And tradition is actually something that can easily be connected with NIS, since company is established more than 75 years ago. And it has gone a long way from a public company to a company as we are now. Do you know for what public companies in Serbia were known for during 80s, 90s, and even first decade of 2000? In my opinion, that was an environment where people were working until retirement, where they didn't have big chance for development. And if we go back to those students I mentioned in the beginning, they were growing up in a society like that. Society where it was normal or even desirable to work in one company until very retirement. I must admit, I'm part of that generation as well. And I had that kind of upbringing during my early childhood. What were our expectations at that time? Not much. Frankly, we were really grateful for the opportunity that is given to us, students without prior working experience. And we just wanted to justify all the trust employer had for us. But now we are facing really strong and fast-paced changes in the job market. Employees have a really rise of their expectations. And when it comes to students, they're expecting from an employer to give them an opportunity for a development as well, since we are not only the ones who are choosing an employee, but also vice versa. In our company, we have gone for a long journey through these 8 years. And I must admit, since I'm witnessing that change, The change was sometimes slow, and sometimes we had just the baby steps. But I'm proud of the fact that only change is a constant here. And actually, tradition will always be part of us. But we are trying to make place for new company, for youth. And today, I will show you how youth is nurtured in our company. So, when it comes to an idea, we started thinking, what is additional value that we can give to a youth in our core exploration and production business? And just to get closer to you, when I'm talking about core business, I'm talking about all the organizational parts that has the main goal, production of oil and gas, from the research projects to the services that are supporting our business. And those three organizational parts has more than 3,000 of employees. So we were aware that we have excellent graduates and internship programs. We do have great leadership programs as well. But somehow that specialist level stayed out of focus. And don't get me wrong, when I'm talking about employees in core business, they do have technical trainings in regards to their positions, since mostly of them are engineers and field operators. But that soft part was always missing. Beside that, we became aware more than ever that there is no specialized onboarding to upstream business specifics. Yes, we do have it on a company level, but when it comes to specifics of a business, we didn't have one. And here in NIS, every organizational part is a company for itself, actually. Beside that, there was no specialized and structured training program during first years of work in our business. Due to lack of identification of development perspective and development programs, we were actually facing a risk of losing these young employees. And that's something that we couldn't allow to happen. So I've been talking for a while about youth, about young specialists, but who is actually a young specialist? Here we defined young specialist as an employee of upstream business, younger than 35, with finished faculty or secondary school, with experience from 0 to 3 years. And as you may see, group is really diverse, since we included both so-called white and blue-collar positions. And you're probably wondering why the same development program for such a different group of employees. And I'm sure that I will give you an answer until end of this presentation. So with those criteria, we had 264 of employees that are suitable for a program that and that is actually close to 10% of our total headcount. Now I will try to introduce you with the concept of a program itself, and I will need your participation here as well. Imagine you're a new employee in a company, freshly graduated, or with some prior working experience. You're for sure facing a storm of emotions. You're both scared and excited. And what we as a company can offer you for your easier adoption to a company culture. In the beginning, that's for sure onboarding to business specifics. Then you maybe will be interested into individual development plan together with a training program during first 3 years of an employment. And in the end, last but not least, chance that your voice is heard, that your ideas are implemented through participation in Young Stream Specialist Council. These initiatives were part of an Upstream Academy program that kicked off in March 2021. And I know we are still really young. I'm sure that you are most interested in this part of a presentation. So let's talk about a Young Specialist Training Program, what we have included in it. I mentioned before that Upstream Academy has 3 years program. Every year has some set of trainings and activities, but unique component for all of them is individual development plan. Individual development plan is created together with a line manager that is actually a mentor during this program, and it is a base for a development for every year of a program. First year of a program is actually an introduction year, introduction to NIS and upstream business specifics, operational activities. During this year, employee has an opportunity to improve or develop his presentational skills and also personal effectiveness. During next 2 years of a program, employees are taught about techniques of design thinking, lean, and project management as well. And actually, all the trainings are designed so they can help an employee to gain some set of specific activities that will help him both during their work engagement and also during participation in our internal competitions in conferences. Here in upstream business, we are organizing internal competition and conferences on a yearly level. And employees are chosen after the competition to have best field operator or best scientific research project award. Winners of internal conferences and competitions are nominated to be part of competitions that are organized on a Gazprom-Neft level as well. And just yesterday, we have finished this year's finale on the Gazprom-Neft level. There was 100 projects. We participated with 8, and 5 of them won the special awards. And that's a really great achievement for us, since there was 18 companies on the Gazprom-Neft level. So here I must say, great job, guys, and thank you for my team and their support. Then, during 3 years of a program, they have an opportunity to be part of internal and external conferences as well. Beside that, they can take a role of internal trainer through participation on different seminars and presentations that are held on different educational institutions. From my side, the best part of this training program is actually opportunity for a job rotation to Gazprom-Neft in Russia. Job rotations are in duration from 1 to 2 months. And here, employee has an opportunity to go to Russia, one of our Gazprom-Neft companies, to work abroad, to meet specifics of a company abroad, colleagues, to share their knowledge, their experiences, and in the end, to develop certain expertise. In the end of every year, there is time for a final feedback. I'm saying final feedback because through the whole year of a program, we are emphasizing importance of a timely feedback between line manager and employee. And final feedback is a time where IDP realization is considered and a development plan for the next year is created. For sure, you remember that I mentioned that one of the 3 parts of Upstream Academy is Young Specialist Council. As I already said, that is the place where your ideas will be heard, where your ideas can be implemented. And that is a group of employees elected by their young specialist colleagues with the goal to implement all the initiatives and all the ideas easier and faster in a cooperation with HR team and management as well. Slightly more than 200 participants had an opportunity to vote for one of their colleagues for the composition of this year's council. So in this year, we have 10 of them that are actually representatives of a council. They have organized their work into 2 committees, Committee for Knowledge Sharing and Committee for Improvement of Cooperation. You may notice that I skipped part regarding onboarding into upstream specifics. And this is because this is one of the most important initiatives of Young Specialist Council. They recognize the same onboarding issue as we did, and they decided to create completely new host concept for all upstream employees, for all employees that are actually coming to our company. Why? Business functionalities in upstream are really diverse. And the host would be someone who will be on a hand to a new employee to help him when it comes to all these small problems and obstacles that can arise on a job during first years, actually, of work. Because concept is like that you have a host as long as you need it for every problem that can encounter. And idea is that host has an opportunity to present himself and his working environment entirely from his own perspective with his own eyes, through knowledge sharing and through experience sharing as well. As my colleague Anya said a few days ago, challenges. As every pilot program, we had it also, and here I will just emphasize the biggest ones, and the biggest ones are in regard to field operators. First idea of a program was to go fully live with personal interaction, since we have a diverse group of participants, and this should actually affect they get to know each other better, to understand their mutual work and engagement drivers, so they can have a better cooperation in the future. And this actually proved really beneficial during previous programs we had in our company. But what happened? Of course, new normal happened, COVID-19 happened, and that was our main obstacle. We had to go from fully live to fully online concept. When it comes to field operators, that's really challenging. We had a lot of questions, how to get proper IT equipment for them, how to give them opportunity to be part of a training program. Luckily, here we had support of their line managers, since they recognized the benefits of a program and they provided adequate IT environment. And yes, field managers had to give an extra mile here. They were acting like an IT support from time to time. But this was really beneficial when it comes to their mutual communication and cooperation. It was really obvious on the engagement workshops we had after those trainings, since all employees emphasized how small things like this can give them better motivation, since they feel that someone actually cares and that they are important. Beside that, a big how we had when it comes to motivation of these field operators. Common question was, okay, great program, but what is there for me? Why should I be part of that program? And again, line manager has had the most important role here, since they have explained all the benefits of a program. And if we thought about benefits, what is really a benefit here? It is well-known fact that company would rather promote internally than seek on the job market when it comes to higher positions. Why not to give the same focus here when it comes to field operator positions? With acquired set of skills during these training programs, they will for sure be a talent pool for certain positions. Structured training for field operators will not only diversify their skill set, but will also motivate them, will engage them, so they can give that extra mile on a job. And actually, in the end, it is proven true that people will want to invest in themselves when they feel that someone is investing in them too. Here, I just wanted to give you an overall look and picture at the concept of a program. As I already mentioned, program kicked off in March 2021, so we are approaching finale in February 2022. We have planned 39 trainings in total. Some of them were in-house, some of them are organized from the side of external provider. And until now, we had organized 24 of them, with participation of almost 240 participants. And really, from my perspective, if we have all the obstacles in mind, this is really great success. In the end, I wanted to wrap it up, but not from my perspective, not from the perspective of an employer, but rather from the perspective of field operator. Imagine, you're a field operator, you're working 12-hour shifts, and you think that for your employer, only your technical expertise is important. You feel just like a small part of a big machinery. Your ideas aren't heard, and you feel that from your perspective, future is not so bright. And then you're getting an opportunity to be a part of a program that would actually broaden your horizons, part of something where your voice is actually heard, where your skills are nurtured, and you can make a great impact. You're becoming aware more than ever that development is not just climbing up the company ladder, but it is a challenging journey as well. Wouldn't you grab that opportunity? I for sure would. Hi, Peter. Oh, I'm not hearing you here currently.
There we are, we're back. So no, I'm sure you would, I'm sure I would, I'm sure everybody else would as well, grab that opportunity as well. Listen, we've come towards the end of the session right now. Thanks so much for sharing the ideas. One of the questions that came through was, what is the direct impact of such a project? You kind of answered that in terms of the benefits, in terms of the benefits certainly from that. But if you was to give us one quick sentence that would answer that question, what would you say? What is the direct impact of such a project?
The best impact is for their development and for the engagement, since here we have a much bigger engagement of these employees, since, as I already mentioned, they feel that someone cares, that someone wants to work on their development. And from my perspective, that is the biggest impact here.
Tijana, well said, excuse me, well said. Thank you so much. This is where we say, unfortunately, we say goodbye. Thank you so much for sharing the session. And again, as I say with everybody, but it's so true, you're listening to Tijana, you'd like to know more about what Nisa doing and get in contact with Tijana. I'm sure if you just link up with her on LinkedIn, she'll be more than happy to take that conversation further afield. Thank you so much, Tijana. Thanks for your expertise and obviously your time as well, because I know it's important for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right, there we have it. Intriguing session behind us, and guess what? An intriguing session ahead of us as well. We're moving on very shortly in a couple of minutes time, moving over to a session very simply called How to Thrive and Not Just Survive. Intriguing for you, intriguing for me. Let's find out in a couple of minutes exactly what that means.